Donald and the Signalman. Donald and Douglas didn't mind what work they did. This meant they often took trucks, as the other engines detested them. However, even the twins needed reprieve from goods. Pulling coaches was a welcome change. One morning, Donald brought a stopping train to Timoth Station. He was in good spirits, and the coaches hummed happily behind him. Halting at the platform, he saw some workmen near the signal ahead. "That looks like trouble," he sighed. The station master walked up. "The signal's faulty. The men are working as quickly as they can. You should be cleared to leave soon. Sorry, Donald." "Can't be helped, sir," said Donald. "Didn't you worry. I'll make up time down the line." The station master smiled and walked away. Donald was just about to close his eyes for a rest when... should have known trouble would follow that engine. When Donald first arrived, he collided with the Timoth signal box due to slippery rails. The box was swiftly repaired and the Fat Controller forgave him. But the signalman hadn't. He was cross over the damage that had been done, and glared coldly whenever Donald passed. He come to check on the workmen's progress, but started talking loudly to them when he saw Donald. "Always sulking around like a black cat. First my box, and now my signals. If he don't smarten up, he'll rue the day he came to this railway." Just then the signal dropped, the workmen cheered, and the guard's whistle blew. The driver hurried the train away, but Donald was furious. "Unbelievable," he grumbled that night. "You think I cause an accident every day, acting like I controlled the signals. Did you ever?" "He's awful," sighed Douglas. "Gives me an earful whenever I pass, until he realises I'm not you." "I never did like that signalman," added James. "He sulks more than the trucks." "He was a curmudgeon long before you two came," remarked Henry. "Pay no mind, Donald. He'll give up in due time." But Donald wasn't convinced. Whenever he went near the box, he felt the signalman's gaze fixed upon him. He could hardly shunt without receiving complaints. He worked carefully and held his tongue, but his patience was wearing thin. Next morning, Thomas was at the platform, waiting to travel back up the branch line. His signal dropped just as Donald arrived from the opposite direction with empty trucks. He whistled hello, catching the signalman's attention. "Just my luck," he muttered. In his distraction, the signalman didn't realise he pulled the wrong lever. Annie's wheels had just cleared the points when they shifted beneath the train. Thomas hadn't noticed, but Donald had. "Stop! Stop!" he whistled frantically. Startled, Thomas braked, but not fast enough. Clarabelle's front wheels started down the siding. There was a bump, a shriek, and a crunch. The train stopped, with Clarabelle sitting crooked and derailed. "My poor axles!" she wailed. The signalman descended from the box just as Thomas's guard stormed over. "What are you playing at?" he fumed. "You're working points, not circus rides." "I was doing just fine, until the black cat came creeping in," grumbled the signalman. Donald could stay silent no longer. "I don't know any railway where engines control points or signals," he retorted. "That's your job." "Don't tell me how to do my job. You're quite good at being a bad omen, let me tell you." The signalman turned. It was the Fat Controller. "Sir, I'd report to my office at once," interrupted the Fat Controller. "I'm quite interested in hearing how Donald's mere presence led to this." He motioned to the accident. Thomas's crew was trying to pacify the angry passengers. Ashamed, The signalman walked silently to the station. "I'm sorry if I caused any trouble, sir," began Donald. "You did nothing of the sort," assured the Fat Controller. "Without your warning, Thomas may have had a worse accident. I trust you can assist with the cleanup." Donald gladly obliged. He and the workmen soon put everything right, and Thomas hurried off with a thankful whistle. Satisfied, the Fat Controller strolled to his office. "I feel your troubles are over and done with, old boy," the driver winked at Donald. And he was right. The signalman failed to convince the Fat Controller of his innocence, and was relocated to another box, on a much quieter part of the island. Thankfully, the new signalman at Titmuth was much friendlier to the engines. Donald was relieved. There was no more talk of him being a black cat ever again.